What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. These are the roster upgrade predictions for update number 9 due out this Friday. I actually did this on Twitch last night, but Twitch was being really buggy, apparently kind of Twitch-wide, and the video was terrible, and I didn't really want to saddle y'all with it on YouTube, so I'm going to go ahead and re-record this. Same information, so if you are watching this and you happen to be in the Twitch stream, nothing new. It's going to be the same. Just not going to be glitched picture and all that sort of stuff. And it'll be my second time doing it, so I'll probably be a little bit more concise, knowing exactly where I'm going with everything. But let's just start with the Dodgers. As always, we go from commons up to diamonds getting upgraded. And I like to do this micro investing. And listen, one thing I stressed a bunch yesterday when I did this, and I won't do this again because I probably repeated myself a lot with regards to the app. The app's amazing. If you can get it, if you subscribe to Scouting Report and you can download the app and you like to invest, do it. And the reason I really like it, besides literally everything, is for micro investments like the commons. Our first guy here is Alex Vesia. You see here, he's 7 stubs. Just right now, flipping him is, I mean, it's going to make you money. It's going to make you stubs, 90 stubs per. Now, 90 stubs, you know, I have a bankroll of 53,000. Some of y'all got one over millions. I mean, because I got most of my stuff invested. But some of y'all are invested heavily and still have millions. Like 90 stubs, whatever. In fairness, micro investing probably isn't for you if you have millions of stubs. But even for a bankroll like mine, I do a high volume flip of somebody like Vesia at 90 per. It adds up. It adds up. You do, you know, 30 buy orders in the morning, get them all, take on your lunch break, sell them all. That's, you know, what is that, 2,700 stubs. And it adds up, and it doesn't always have to be a guy this low. It's really been beneficial for me with the bronzes, who are still trending at near base price, which is 25 for a bronze. But then you can flip them for 300, 200. Look at this one. No, Neftali Feliz is even better. He's 25, you flip him for 220. I mean, it just makes too much sense. And the volume ordering that you can do on the app. Now, you can't go in and say, place 52 orders of this. You have to press the button 52 times, but you don't have to put the price in 52 times, which is what you would have to do in the game. It was so many clicks, and even on the website. So, anyway, getting back into the players, I won't stress the app 52 million times like I did yesterday. That's kind of my sell there. It's a hard sell, though. I don't gain anything from it. I'm not gaining. They're not asking me to. I'm just hard selling you because it's better. If you're watching this video, you invest, so you should have the app. Anyway, Alex Vesia has been killing it. He needs a big walk boost. He's at 2.5 in August, 2.4 walks per 9 since the All-Star break. He's also at 2.4 hits and 11.2 Ks. And I got to be honest, I might be selling him a little shy at a 65 upgrade. He might be going up to a 66 to 68 area with the upgrades that he's getting. He's been excellent for the Dodgers. Also, sticking with their team here, our next guy is Mitch White, who should also be getting quite a big upgrade. Now, his last appearance was a big 7 2/3 relief appearance. I don't think that's going to move him to RP, and it shouldn't, because first off, he was sent out after that. And that appearance was basically a start. I think he had an opener, and then he basically, you know, was treated as a starter and pitched very well. So he went 7 2/3. So as long as they don't move him to RP, he should get a big update. In fact, he needs kind of a sweeping update to his account here, because he's at 8.9 Ks, 3.8 walks, and 6.9 hits in 35 1/3 innings. So that's going to be some big boosts. I got him up to a 66. Yeah, so I think he and Vesia can both be in the mid to high 60s. Next up, let's go to one of our favorite players in the channel, Spider Neck. If you know, you know. I mean, if you don't know, just look. It's right there. You cannot miss it. But Spider Neck became a meme because we were just going over his card. I want to say it came up in BR one day, and I was like, is that a giant spider on this guy's neck? He wasn't in the majors yet, and obviously we love that because that's insane. Like, that's aggro as hell, and it's incredible. Well, he's become more than a meme, though. My man is pitching very well. He is up to 8.6 Ks and down to a 2.0 walk in his 5 August starts, which I think should give him a nice, healthy boost on what he's been doing. When he first came up, I was a little suspect. I will admit it. I mean, if Vlad's listening, I will not admit it because I don't want him to kill me. But let's assume he's gone. then I'll admit it. His stuff was rough. There wasn't like a swing and miss pitch. And so the early success that he had, I thought it was kind of on deception and maybe just being a new pitcher and maybe some good luck. Maybe just intimidation. Maybe that's it. Maybe the MLB players are just as afraid of Spider Nick as we are. I just figured that out. It just clicked with me. But anyway, I got him going up to a 70. I don't really see silver here. I mean, I guess if he keeps pitching like this, the way he did in August for all of September, sure. But I don't necessarily expect that. So I don't think you have to keep him for silver. If you want to flip him right now, or get some right now at 25, see where his price goes when he gets up to 70, then you can kind of flip him, sure. But do not hang on for silver. Another guy we talked about a couple updates ago. Remember when TA3 was coming out and we were doing the micro investing of commons to stack up a bunch to exchange for TA3 because they were going to go bronze. One of our big guys on that was nasty Nestor Cortez, who's now been awesome for them in the rotation. And I didn't know this yesterday, and I actually forgot to put it in my notes because I didn't know I'd be re-recording. I've got him going more than what I originally had. I think I originally had a 70. Let me see. Let me check my original notes. Yeah, I had Nestor going up to a 70. I changed that yesterday on the fly and said he should go up to at least a 74, maybe even a 75, because he needs to be shifted to SP. And as you may or may not know, that adds 4 or 5 points just off rip, regardless of any skill changes. So you throw in the SP change plus the fact that he has 9.7 Ks, 2.1 walks, and 7.6 hits in 13 innings as a starter. I think he could be silver, to be quite honest. I think you're definitely looking at high 73, 74 type bronze at the very least, but then silver's a possibility if they move him to SP, and they should. He's starting. So I got to get back on my Nestor for sure because I sold all my commons. I flipped, or my bronzes once I got him as common. I flipped a ton on him, and you can still flip him. I mean, I'm not gonna mention the A word again, but you can still flip him. Look at that price split. Anyway, next up is another starter that I really like. If you follow my work as far as outside of MLB The Show in the fantasy realm, I really like Quantrill coming into the year. Part of it is just kind of blind trust of Cleveland and what they do with pitchers. Like, they've earned that at this point to where I'm just going to kind of be like, you know what? They've got it. They're going to figure some things out with guys that have talent. Obviously, you got to have some talent. You can't just be, a two-bit hack. But I'm going to believe that they're acquiring guys that they think that they can make the most out of and things of that nature. They picked up Quantrill last year. I thought this year he'd get a full opportunity and could really show something. That's exactly what's happening. Now, early on, and I've even put this in my note, better results than skills, meaning his ERA was good, but it wasn't really showing in hits, Ks, or walks. Well, that's starting to turn. 9.0 Ks, 3.0 walks, 6.5 hits per 9 this period. That should get him a nice healthy boost. I got him going up to a 73, so he's right there on that save for silver path. And I think you definitely could save him for silver. If you want to see where he goes as a silver, maybe he gets up to the 400s or something as a silver. That could be very lucrative for you. Or you just get some now and see if his price rises into the 300s and flip him then. Whatever you want to do, but he's definitely going up and he definitely has silver possibility. Let's go out to the Giants real quick, talk about a guy that they've had at silver recently, maybe as recently as this year, but he's working his way back. He's not quite there yet, but Alex Dickerson is playing well. I do have him going for 2 points up to a 74. I mean, he's only playing against righties, but he's absolutely decimating them. And he has a 1282 OPS against them this period, which should definitely help his power and contact against them. You see here, +3s already gets him to 73. So I think he's definitely going to get to 74. Maybe not quite 75 yet, though. So I think it might be too high to say silver, so that's why I didn't. I got him at a 74, but he's knocking on the door of returning to silver. Let's go back out to Cleveland. We're going to be in Cleveland a lot this update. They got a lot of things going on here. Let's talk about a guy who, I mentioned this with Quantrill. It's even been bigger with Clase, because if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, yo, Clase has fill in the ERA that he has, why isn't he a silver or a gold or a diamond? And I'm like, tell me exactly where ERA is on this card. And look, I get it. When someone's pitching very well and their card doesn't really match that sort of quality, you're left wondering, well, what's going on? Well, again, the main thing is with regards to Class A, it's that ERA is not a single reflector on this card, and his skills that go into the game, hits, Ks, and walks, they weren't as great. They simply weren't as great. This is a big card that has this is a card that has a big divide between how he plays in MLB The Show and out of the park baseball. From where my OOTP head's at, you know that Class A's card is better in OOTP because the thing that he does best, home run suppression and ground balls, is heavily counted in that game. They have a category called movement, which is basically homer per 9, that they put a lot of emphasis on because it's a simulator and stifling home runs matters quite a bit. We don't have that thing. We don't have that here. We have homer per 9, but it doesn't play in game. It does nothing. It's a dead stat in Diamond Dynasty. So the update team doesn't really focus on updating it a bunch. It doesn't move the overall needle the way that hits, Ks, and walks do. So bottom line was his Ks were pretty lame. His walk rate's good. His hit rate's solid. But we haven't really seen Class A earn a silver until now. He's been huge this period. 12.6 Ks, 0 walks, and 1.8 hits just this period, which is since August 11th. That's the Wednesday before the last update. And if you look over his last 30 appearances, he has 0.9 walks per 9. So I think the BB9 is getting a healthy boost. I got him going up to a 75. Got to be honest, I might be selling him short. He might have 76 or 77 here. Bottom line, I do want to emphasize, there is hold for gold potential here. I really think this update will get him to between 75 and 77. The only way we're getting gold, though, is if he ups those Ks and keeps it maybe at this 12.6 rate that we've seen this period. That's kind of what he needs to do, because for the season he's at 9.8, which is just over a strikeout per inning. That's not that good, guys. Like that's in today's baseball as a reliever, like just over a strikeout per inning is like, okay, fine. But for him, he doesn't need a million strikeouts because he gets a ton of ground balls. So it's a disconnect where it's not like he needs them to succeed, but he does need them to go to gold. So definitely going silver, hold for gold possibility as well. Now, a couple weeks ago, I mentioned I would like to see SDS bring this guy's silver card back from the Tampa Bay Rays, put it in the BR pack. Well, now they might not have to because his live series might just go silver. And that's Brad Boxberger. If you remember that silver Tampa Bay card, I mean, I still would like them to do it. Even though I think I got him going silver this week. I mean, I do have him going silver this week. I'd still like to see the Boxberger Tampa Bay Rays card. I think it was a 78 or 79. Meanwhile, I've only got him going to 75 here today, or Friday. 12.6 Ks, 1.8 walks, 5.4 hits this period. That should bring him to silver pretty easily. He's been nice, and I'd like to see, because his walk rate is down quite a bit, I'd like to see them bring his control of his pitches up too, so that way he is more usable. I mean, he has a 19 control on his slider. I want to see if I can look this up quickly without bogging down the video. What's his walk rate on his slider? Because 19, I mean, that means he's not throwing any strikes with it. And I'll tell you what, if they don't improve it, then you can't use Boxberger even in BR. Like he's gonna be hanging that like that. That's gonna be really, really bad. So I'm gonna go for the full year real quick, if you'll pardon me on this little detour, and see that his slider has allowed a 12% walk rate, which is high. I know we usually deal in per 9s. The site I'm looking at does percentages, because you also can't get a number of innings that you've thrown a ball. You can only do plate appearances, or that you've thrown a pitch. So you can say he has 33 plate appearances with the slider, but you don't just take that and then divide it by 3 and say that it's like 11 innings. Like there's no way to translate it to innings. That's why you can't do a per 9. But a 12% walk rate is high. It merits better than a 19 control, though. Let's take a look at since the All-Star break. Let's see if he's improving enough to merit a jump in that. I'm invested in this. I know. I get stuck on the dumbest shit. I'm sorry. 0% walk rate on the slider since the All-Star break. Can we at least get to a 50 on the slider and then move the fastball and changeup into the low 60s? I think that would be fair. Anyway, please let's get the Tampa Bay Rays Boxberger silver in the BR pack, and then I won't even care about this card. How about that? Let's go back out to San Francisco, talk about a starter. They've had a great year this year, like unquestionably a brilliant year, and a lot of it has had to do with their rotation. You know, Gosman's become a full-on ace. Tony Disco popped off. Now he's hurt right now, but he's been fantastic. Alex Wood doing his thing. Even Cueto's throwing some quality innings. Here's their next big guy. Logan Webb has been fantastic. I got him getting to silver here. He's staying hot. He should be silver now with 10.7 Ks, 1.9 walks, 7.0 hits in 3 starts this period. That's going to get him a nice little boost. Can he get gold? Sure. And I'm going to do the same comparison that I did yesterday because I talked about 3 guys and their potential for gold after getting silver. Clase, Webb, and then the next guy. I think Clase's over Webb, and then we'll talk about the next guy where I have him in the mix. Webb can get there. He has to keep pitching like this. The thing of it is, he can, but I don't necessarily think that he will continue to pitch quite at this clip. Like, for the season, he's got 9.6 Ks, 2.6 walks, 7.6 hits. That's all good, but it's about high 60s for the ratings. Like, none of those jump out as amazing. They're all, like, really solid. Maybe the BB9 can be in the low 70s, but it's not off the charts, and he has a 2.84 ERA, 113 whip with that. So gold would be difficult for Webb. I put Clase here, Webb there. Let's go out to our next guy. Stay in the West, talk catchers. And how about Dalton Varsho? A lot of you remember him from last year with that gold prospect card. That was a fantastic card. Some of you may be familiar with him in fantasy because he's a catcher who doesn't always catch, which is good because catching beats you up. So if you can get a catcher-eligible player in fantasy who doesn't actually catch all that much, that's amazing. He also runs, which is also very rare for a catcher. Well, he's been on fire, and I'm making a case for silver for him, okay? Now, this is going to take a little bit of finesse, and I talked about this yesterday about how this isn't just science. Rory and Lane over at SDS, who run the content team, or the update team, I don't believe this to be the case. They can correct me if I'm wrong. They don't just put the numbers in a formula and say, if you're hitting 280, you're automatically a 76 here. Because it matters where you've come from, your trajectory on a given season. So they don't just plug in numbers and say that's automatic. They look at the picture. They look at the player as a whole. I think if you step back and acknowledge that Varsho's struggles in the majors to this point, prior to this recent run, have been a little bit BABIP fueled, meaning his batting average on balls in play has been a bit unlucky for him. Sure, he contributes to it, right? It's never just luck driving a player, especially when you're playing as poorly as he was. He was terrible until about the middle of this season. Last year, he did awful in his major league sample. But if they step back and say, okay, let's put that off to the side a little bit. We'll count it a little bit, but we're not gonna kill him for it. Then we acknowledge that he's been amazing in the minors. He's been elite since the All-Star break. There is that BABIP issue. Can we give him some sweeping changes to acknowledge that he has an 1168 OPS since the All-Star break? He's playing like the guy that we saw in the minors. He had an 1118 OPS in AAA this year. We can bring him up to a silver and then kind of see where he's at. So I'm making a case here. This is definitely kind of a call. I'm putting it out there. He might wind up as more of like a 73, 74, but I think the silver is there if they kind of give him sweeping changes to acknowledge that he's arrived a bit, I believe. Even though it's only been a month since the All-Star break, I think he's really starting to settle in as a major leaguer. You give him 75 right now, and then you kind of see where it goes. And if he flops again, then you're harsh on him, and then you really make him earn it to get back up. But I think for now, give him a little bit of the benefit of the prospect doubt, and then we'll see where he's at. And he could go gold. If they do this for him, and he does go silver, then he has the ability to go gold because he has such a diverse skill set. I would rank him, man, I don't remember my ranking from yesterday, so I might be being inconsistent, and I'm sorry about that. But I think Clase, Varsho, Webb is how I would rank their gold chances. And I'm going to say this, even if Varsho's only a 73 and Webb does get to silver, I think I would still rank him over Webb for gold potential because, again, he has just such a dynamic profile. He has power, speed. He's hitting for some contact right now. That's where I'm going to go with Varsho there. And then this next guy is going to stand above all three of them as far as gold opportunity, back out to Cleveland again. I told you we were going to be visiting there a bunch. I think we even have at least one more trip back there after this one. But let's talk about somebody you're probably expecting me to hit on at some point, and that's Tristan McKenzie, baby. My man is on fire. I wrote about him yesterday, so I was really dialed in on talking about him. He's completely transformed his control with a 1.5 BB9 since July 1st after an obscene 8.3 BB9 through June. That means he was walking almost a batter per inning. Like, that's unbelievable. Like, that's so bad. But he's made the improvements that I think they can give him a healthy BB9 boost and give him some control. So I wrote him up and I wanted to deep dive. I'm like, what is this transformation here? What's been going on? Did he add a pitch? Did he decrease a pitch? Has he changed how he's throwing his pitches in terms of volume? He's, throwing fewer fastballs, more sliders, whatever. Did he change his mechanics? What happened? None of that. There was literally none of that. You look at all that data, it's all basically the same from the period of through June, then from July 1st on. Pitch mix is the same. Pitch types, the same three pitches. Fastball, slider, curve. Doesn't really throw the change, but don't take it off the card, SDS. Just let us have that change up. Didn't say anything. I read 2 articles on The Athletic, including quotes from him. Didn't say anything about moving on the rubber or altering his mechanics. Internal trust is the biggest thing. He realized that he has great stuff and that, yeah, he's going to get hit sometimes, but he has to trust it to throw it over the plate so that they have to do the work. I've got great stuff. Here it is. Let's see if you can hit it. Turns out they can't. 2 big quotes, or two big interactions changed it for McKenzie. Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers, realizing that he was going out of the game and saying, "Hey, Flacco, you're finally out. That's great news for me." And he was like, "Yo, for real? Miguel Cabrera just said that he's psyched that I'm out of the game because I'm too good? Awesome." And then Sal Perez told him, and I think this was the direct quote, "Your stuff fucking rules." And that, lit him up as like, whoa, that's one of the premier catchers of the league gassing me up. An inner circle Hall of Famer gassing me up. I need to just trust my stuff. And so, it all comes in different ways for players. Like I said, some players have all those changes of their mechanics and their arsenal and all that to fuel their breakout. Sometimes it's just in here. It's a little, I know it's intangible, and some people get like, if you can't quantify it, they don't want to talk about it. Like, oh, you can't quantify heart or mental stuff, so it's fluky. It can be fluky in that it's difficult to get a hold of because you can't quantify it, but it doesn't mean it's not real. And having the confidence in yourself and trusting your stuff is a big deal. McKenzie's there right now. He's dominating. I got him up to a 76. He's definitely got the potential for silver. The only downside I would say is, A, Cleveland could shut him down just because he's one of their young, bright young arms, and they're not going anywhere. But even if they don't, he is an injury risk because of his previous injury history and his size. Now, he's the perfect body count for me. I'm literally 6'5", 165. So I love Tristan McKenzie. This is what I would look like if I were a major league pitcher and if I were black. I'm neither, but that's what I would look like. And so, I know that body type is not particularly large. You can see it on the card there. So it can be, hit with the rigors of pitching, but anybody can. We've seen big body guys get hurt, so it's not necessarily that the frame is 1,000% going to break down. I worry more about injury just from his injury history than I do the frame. I'd say he has a perfect frame, perfectly. I said perfect frame, perfectly. What? Personally is what I meant to say. But anyway, enough about that. Tristan McKenzie going silver, has gold potential. You see here, already a great flip at this price. Let's move to Atlanta, talk about a starter. Now, listen, this guy was an asshole, okay? And I feel justified in calling him an asshole because I have these similar asshole tendencies. And what is that? To rage out needlessly, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to stand up. I used to be controller thrower guy. I've broken more than one controller in my day. Gave that up years ago. What was the impetus for it? Threw a controller, it bounced back and hit me in the face, okay? And nothing snaps you out of a hissy fit more than something like that. You ever seen somebody like on a basketball court raging out and like hucking the ball and it comes back at them because they didn't calculate, that it was going to hit a wall and bounce back in their face, things like that. It's like that. And that snaps you out of it and says, Okay, stop being an asshole. Wake up, clown. And that was my wake up moment years ago. Controller fully intact, despite how angry I might get. Especially because usually, 99% of the time, my anger with the game is internal. I'm angry at my own suckitude. But anyway, Huascar Noah got angry with himself, punched a wall. The wall won. Wall's undefeated against dipshits, getting angry at them, and derailed an excellent season. He's back now, though. Had an excellent return from the IL. Pardon me. I have 2 dogs. Got a dog hair in my mouth there. Sorry. It's just back to the matter. And I knew it was there, and I was trying to slyly get it out, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to dig in there and get it. Anyway, he was tracking gold before the injury, and now he sets up as a good September hold for gold. I've only got him getting 1 point off of this first start. I really wanted to just put him on the list to highlight him as a hold for gold. So it's not so much about this 1 point that he gets this week. Who cares? Bottom line is, I'm telling you guys to get invested now if you're interested in a gold candidate, and Huascar Noah is indeed that. Let's go out west and talk about Mr. Ty France. Is he, I forget what position he's at, third base? Yes, there he is. He might get a position change, by the way. My chat brought this up, and I don't think we followed up to see what his overall would do if you move him to first, because that's basically where he's been playing. I mean, you see Seager and Toro are there. Both are much better third basemen than him defensively, and obviously Seager is one of their, franchise titans. He's not going anywhere as far as third base, and I think Toro's been playing second, France at first. Yeah, France is their first baseman. So I don't know if his overall moves just by getting moved to first base, but that could help. I got him going up 4 points on merit alone, because I think he's due for kind of a sweeping upgrade, meaning they don't just look at the last 2 weeks, they kind of look at the overall picture, because he's been raking since June. He has a 934 OPS against righties, 809 against lefties, with a 196 ISO. That's slugging minus batting average. That isolates your power. It actually stands for isolated slugging. And 200 is like really good. Anything over like 180 is starting to show some pop. Anything over 2.25 is big time pop. 250, elite of elite. And he's at 196. So he's showing some pop. Better than a 40 against righties. Let's just say that. He also has 12 home runs since June. So he's been playing really well. I got him going up to a 78. The reason you should invest now, though, as far as like hold for gold, is because what if the first base move puts him to gold? And he ends up being kind of an Adelise or a, who else went? It was Dylan Bundy last year who went bronze to gold. So you got to get in on Ty France now just in case, because I didn't think about the position change until my chat brought that up. So heads up to my chat. Big shouts to them for that, because I wasn't thinking about that with Ty France. But either way, he's an investment for now. At the very least, you can flip. If he just goes silver and the price goes up, you can flip, make some stubs, but he might go gold, and then that'd be a huge investment. Let's go out to New York and talk first base. This guy's trying to find his time, but hey, he's doing his best when he is playing. That's my boy Luke Voit. I'm a huge Luke Voit fan, as much as anti-Yankees as I can be, and it's just because like the evil empire. They're not even the evil empire anymore, though. They don't win. You got to win to be that. And like I've really softened on the Yankees, even though I take a lot of jabs at them just to tweak Yankee fans because it's funny to me. I've softened on them over the years because they have so many likable players. And Voigt's one of them. Aaron Hicks is somebody I really like. Glaber's cool. I like Garrett Cole. I think he's dope pitcher. I don't care that he used spider tack. Like, who didn't? The other likable players too. DJ LeMahieu, like Stanton and Judge are super likable. So they've got a ton of likable players. It's a lot harder to hate them. Bottom line is, though, Luke Voit is trying to push his way back to gold. This is going to be a big step toward that. He's going to be going to a 78 here. He's been dominant since his return from the IL with a 990 OPS and 4 homers in 54 plate appearances. This could be a quick return to gold. So I would invest in him now. I don't think he's going to go this week. I don't think they've got 4 points for him, but I think it could happen quickly and the price could start to skyrocket. So you should get in now if you're interested in the Luke Voit train. Let's go out to Cincy and talk about a guy who's been very volatile this year, but his hot streaks have been some of the best in the league, and that's Tyler Naquin. And we got into a discussion about this yesterday with regards to the fact that, he's a big platoon guy, and it's somewhat similar to his teammates and I say teammates with an S, Jesse Winker, and a guy we're going to talk about down the line. I won't spoil that second name. It's probably easy to figure out, but I'll keep it in the back pocket for now. But Naquin, the reason that he could avoid some of the Jesse Winker fate in terms of not going diamond. He's not going diamond, which is what people wanted for Winker. But to go gold quicker than even Winker did, despite being a platoon guy, is because look what's on the right there. Diamond defense. So that lowers the threshold that he needs offensively to be upgraded. You know, he doesn't have to get as much hitting as Winker did because Winker had shit defense and no speed. I mean, 49 speed's not great, but I think it's better than Winker. Okay, barely. Never mind. Put that speed thing off to the side. But the defense is exponentially better, so he doesn't need to be like 90-90 against righties to go gold. I think he's got a real shot to go soon. I got him going up to 78 here this week. 1526 OPS, 5 homers against righties recently. He's doing all right against lefties as far as the OPS, but it's 10 plate appearances. So I don't think he's going to get any upgrades. He'll just avoid any downgrades. Again, the diamond glove is what's going to help him get gold if he stays hot. Now, I mentioned the volatility of his season. Let me give you some numbers here. Remember when he opened in April with 6 homers and a 914 OPS? The next 3 months combined, May, June, and July, he hit 7 homers in those, again, combined, with a 728, 744, and 568 OPS totals. Brutal. Then this month, 5 homers, 1250 OPS. So it's been up and down for him, but he's really hot right now. Should get to a 78. If he can stay hot, there is gold potential. I'd be careful in over-investing, though, because of that volatility. If he hits another skid, then time's going to run out. The schedule's just going to run out before he can go gold. So be careful here. There is some hold for gold love, but it's not huge just because I do worry about the volatility. If he goes 79 this week, though, that would really help too, obviously. If he goes higher, that would be good. What a take, Paul. Really insightful. All right, next one here. Big shouts to my chat for letting me know that he had a second homer kind of right before I went live yesterday. Ryan Mountcastle, he's on fire right now. I got him going up to a 79. Now, he's only played 7 games this period because of injury, so that's really what's going to hold him back because the volume just isn't that high, but he's absolutely decimating righties. 333, 429, 1167 with 3 homers. Yo, the 1167 was his slugging, not his OPS. Like, that's insane. Then, hang on. And then, oh yeah, against lefties, he hasn't done anything. 214, 429 with 1 homer. But I don't think that's necessarily going to hurt him. I think they can kind of leave him static against lefties, give him a nice boost against righties. I don't think he's getting plus 15s against righties. And as you can see, that's what it takes to get up to an 81. I think he's going to be right there on the cusp. And he definitely has hold for gold upside now because of this upgrade that he's going to get. He's at a 257, 302, 479 against righties for the year. If you did plus 15s, that just wouldn't make any sense. That would be what, a 74, 83? Yeah, there's no chance that he gets that much. I think it's closer to like plus 8s against them, which should be good for like a 79. Either way, though, he's going to be knocking on the door. You know 79s means they're close. So if you like Ryan Mountcastle, get in now because once he goes 79, people are probably going to start investing and his price could jump up a few hundred. All right, I'm bringing this guy up just to say that he's not going, or else I would get questions in the comments of, where's this guy? Where's this guy? It's Kenley Jansen, okay? He's a 79. So obviously if I have him on the list, he either has to get upgraded or nothing. And it's nothing. So I even on my sheet it says 79 to 79. Because I'm just bringing him up to say it's been a good, not great period with 9K per 9, 3.9 walks, and 3.9 hits. I'm only including him to say I just don't see gold yet. You can stay invested because it is still pretty cheap to get in, but do not expect it this time around. I really don't see it. I'd be surprised if they give it to him. I'm just not sure where he would get it because his hit 9 is his best attribute, and he does have a 3.9 hit 9 this week or this period. That's great, but how much higher are you going to go than the 110? His K9 was it was 1 per inning this period. That's not, I mentioned with Clase, that's not that good. If anything, that would get downgraded from 78, but it won't. I think he'll just hold. I think he might get nooched this week. He might get a little update, a little update on something, downgrade on something, and stay right at 79, or he doesn't even get touched, which is probably what should happen. All right, let's bounce out to, we've had many of these this year, guys that I'm surprised that I'm talking about them level changing because you just didn't have expectations for them coming into the year. And now all of a sudden we're talking about gold potential for Adam Wainwright. When he was a bronze, getting into silver, I was like, hey, he's going to go silver. He's pitching well, but I don't think we'll really see gold unless he keeps this up all year. Well, it's damn near all year. I don't even have a watch on. I don't know why I checked it. I think that's like a kind of a bit. You see that in movies and shows. Check the calendar. Anyway, very stupid. But he has kept it up. He's been fantastic. I don't quite have him going to gold, but it really depends how much love they give this BB9, because that's really the moneymaker right now. He doesn't strike guys out. His hit rate is good, not great. He's at 0.8 walks per nine this period, 1.3 since the All-Star break. He's definitely close. What I also don't know is how close he is to getting to 80. Like, if he gets 8 BB9 points, is that enough? It might be. I don't know. So the bottom line is, if you like him, you got to get in now. Because, he's already 600. Frankly, you should have already been in. I'm not. So that's why I'm not investing in him, because I didn't get in early. So I'm not going to get in on somebody at 600 that I don't think is a lock. But if you like him, if you think he's a lock, then go ahead and get in now, because he might go this week. I'm just torn. I'll probably do the back order thing with him, which means I'll put in a bunch of orders at about 2.25, 225. And then if he goes gold, I'll wait for those orders to get fulfilled, even though they're below quick sell price. It happens all the time. In fact, I can show you a player right now. Let me see. Let's just go to their team. And I think we have, we don't. Oh, you know why? Because Paul Goldschmidt, because somebody put in 77 Paul Goldschmidt orders. But before this morning, he hit 2 homers this morning, by the way. Before that, he was at 222. So orders were being fulfilled for a gold at 222, because those are old orders from back when he was a silver. So you can place those orders with Wainwright, and if he does go gold, then that's how you can benefit. That's how I'm going to play it here, because I didn't get in time to get anything for gold. I don't want to pay 600 on somebody who might not even go. But he is a very unexpected hold for gold. So if you've got him right now, just sit tight, even if he doesn't go this week. Another hold for gold that I really like, and if he'd been just a bit better on Monday, I could have seen it this week. But I've only got a +1 for Alek Manoah up to a 78. That said, I'm riding him out for the rest of the year as a hold for gold. I think he walked 3 in 6 innings, or was it 5? Let me just pull it up. He wasn't bad. In fact, if you watch that game against the White Sox, he battled. It was a really, really fun game, and watching a rookie battle a lineup that good was impressive for sure. But he had 3 walks, 5 hits in 6 innings with one run. It's great outing overall. But for our purposes, it wasn't that good, because there was only 5 strikeouts as well. So I do see a +1 for what he's done this period, because remember, he had that big 11K outing against the Angels back on August 11th. Got hit up a bit by the Nationals of all teams. That's baseball in a nutshell. You got a guy pitching his face off, facing a garbage team. Oh, he's going to dominate them. No, they're going to wreck him somehow. Annoying. But anyway, he has 10.3 strikeouts per 9 this period. He has 3.4 walks, which is probably not going to get an upgrade. 54 is about right for that. And then over a hit per inning at 9.2 hits per 9. So the only thing he's really going to get upgraded maybe is a little bit of K love. That's why I think he gets +1. But either way, even if he gets nooched, just hold on, because I like Alek Manoah. He's been pitching well. They've already said no innings limit for him, and I can already show you I've got 90. I'm not going anywhere on Alek Manoah. My boy's on the come up here. Another thing, if you've been reading my stuff as far as fantasy goes, I've been a long-term Frankie Montas believer. My boy Franklin is popping off. Standard disclaimer, I know it's Francelis. I just think it's funny to call him, well, not even funny. I think it's cutesy to call him Franklin. It's comical to me in a small way, so I like to do it, even though it's wrong. It's Francelis. I know your real name, Frankie, but Franklin is funny. Anyway, Franklin has 3 more gems since the last roster update. 10.5K, 4.0 walks. That's not good, but 6.0 hits. And he also has .5 homer per 9 in his last 15 starts. So I think he might lose a few points in the walk rate for the 4.0. So put that down to like 75 or 75. Put that down to 75. Put that down from 74 to 75. To 70 is what I was going to say, or 69. So, and I was going to say 5 points. That's why I got the 75. So yeah, 4 or 5 point loss on the walk 9, but it could be counterbalanced by a big boost in hit homer per 9. And like I said, homer per 9 does not matter for our game, and it doesn't move the needle that much on our DD cards. But if he gets like a 12-point boost there, it would counterbalance a small loss in the BB9 and you know, make sure that doesn't hit him too hard. Meanwhile, the Ks and the walk rate, or excuse me, the Ks and the hit rate should both get some love. Bottom line is I think he's going 79, absolutely hold for gold. He's been dominating, and when he's on, nobody can stop him. Like I've talked about this before with Montas. When he's going good, the lineup does not matter. Conversely, though, when he's going bad, the lineup doesn't matter. So he could be facing the Pirates, and if he's off and the splitter isn't working, he can give up 6 runs. But he can be facing Houston in Houston, and when he's on, that's 7 shutout innings. So his talent, it's all internal with him. He's got the talent to beat anybody when he's on. Let's talk about Nicky Lopez for the Royals. What a week last week. My man's was out here, ho-hum, meandering along, 10 stolen bases on the year, nearly doubled his SB total for the season in 1 week. Had 8 stolen bases last week. I think that alone is going to get the steal rate, which is at 2, a massive boost. Now listen, coming into the year, he was a brutal major league base stealer. So, because we looked this up yesterday, I was like, did he deserve a 2? Like, why does he have a 2? That seems way too low. No, they were right to give him a 2. He was 1 for 7 on the bases in the major leagues coming into this year. Just dreadful. But he's 18 for 18 this year. So I think we could see like a 60-point boost on the steal rating, like something massive. The tough part is I don't know how much the steal rating, I think it's more of a secondary stat, where if you got 60 points on your power, that's giving you a huge boost. 60 points on your steal rating, I don't think is necessarily giving you, 3-4 points of overall on its own. So I think he's going to be a 79. I got him right on the cusp of gold, because I also think he needs a little contact against righties, because he is hitting 393 against them this period. So I think we're going to see a nice healthy boost. It could be gold, depending on what the stolen base rate does. So again, if you like Nicky Lopez, it's a free roll to get in on him, because he's only, someone put in a bunch of orders right now for 111. Even if you're putting in orders at like 115, 120, that's basically a free roll, because if he doesn't go, then you just sell him and you probably make a profit. You don't even have to quick sell. You could sell back on the app and get a profit if you're selling him at 250, even if his price plummets. Say he doesn't get gold, his price plummets for some reason, because I don't even think this is going to happen, because he is going to get upgraded no matter what. But let's just say he goes up to 78 and his price goes down to 220/100, and you bought a ton at 150. You can sell him at 220, you're still going to make a profit. So bottom line is this is a free roll with gold upside. One thing I will say though, if he doesn't go gold this week, I don't love him as a hold for gold, because this 8 steal week was that's very rare. You're not going to see that very often. And he's not that good of a hitter. Okay, let's just be honest. Like, he's a decent contact guy. He has a 280 average, but there's no pop, is what I should say. So saying he's not a good hitter, that's unfair. But he has no pop. That's what I want to say. That's more accurate to what we're looking at with Nicky Lopez. He has 1 homer on the year, 13 doubles. So this upgrade here is going to about cap him. He might get up to like a 73, 74 contact versus righty, a 65 to 70 something steal rating, and then then where are we at? So I don't know that he's necessarily going to get gold if he doesn't get there this week. I have him as a 79, but get in now, because if he goes gold, then you will have missed the boat. Let's talk about another young shortstop with a little bit brighter future, and that is Wander Franco. Now, they brought him in as a gold, and I respected that they did that, because he's a transcendent prospect. They did it with Vlad as well, and now we're seeing why they did it with Vlad. It took a while, but you understand, like, this is the talent that he had, that they believed he could display from the jump, like a Juan Soto type. And neither Guerrero nor Franco did, so they had to be downgraded, and that's okay. but he's working his way back up to gold. I only see 1 point this week because he's still holding the platoon that we see here, meaning he's killing lefties and like good, not great against righties. So I see +1, but absolutely a hold for gold because of his dynamic talent, of course. So if you like Wander Franco, get in now. Price is still fair to get in if you want. Maybe you consider doing the back order thing, and then if he doesn't go this week, which I don't believe he will, you buy the dip. That could be a choice. Back out to Cleveland for one of two more times. We're gonna be back out again even after this. But Ahmed Rosario is killing it. All of a sudden, he's knocking on the door for gold. I got him for 79. He's only been okay against righties, 859 OPS, which is his weakness, and he's dominating against righties, but he already has an 83 contact against righties. So I don't know if a 533 average in 15 at-bats is going to help him that much. So again, I see +1 up to a 79, but it's like these other guys. You got to kind of get in now. Well, if you're not already in, you should probably not, for the same reason I mentioned earlier. When it's not a lock, I don't think you want to be paying mid 6 figures. You're better off back ordering with Rosario, and then if he doesn't go, you can buy the dip. All right, this guy, I know people are gonna be upset, but I still don't see it. I don't see it with Austin Riley. The only reason is because he's just further strengthening his platoon. He has a 1309 OPS against righties this period, 739 against lefties. So I just don't know that there's 2 more points to be mined from that platoon split. In fact, he might get hit a little bit against lefties. Hopefully he just stays status quo and tacks on a little sprinkle against righties. But until he does something against lefties, it's going to be tough to get him for gold. But I do have him going up to a 79. You see the market's already there, by the way. You can start selling yours and take your profit and get on out. Like what do I have to stick around for and see if he even gets there? I can't believe I'm typing in numbers. It's so different than the app. I'm just, I'm not going to do all 11 orders there, waste y'all's time. All right, let's go to, I mentioned how big of a surprise Wainwright is. Let's go to one of my biggest surprises of the entire year that I'm predicting this. I can't believe it. Doesn't mean I don't believe in it. I just can't believe that he's put up the numbers to merit doing this. Mike freaking Zunino going gold, y'all. Big Z. I'm floored, but I think he's got it. His power has been so dominant that I think it's going to get him to gold. And he's actually hitting 250 against righties, 250 this period, which is going to get an upgrade. Normally a 250 average, that doesn't move the needle. 1 out of 4, who cares? When you have a 16 contact, he could get 10, 12 points for hitting 250 for this period. But the important thing is what's really going to seal this gold for me. 708 ISO and 5 homers this period. Big power against righties and lefties. Both are going to go up. Think it's going to be enough for the 2 points, even if he doesn't get the little love against contact against righties. But that should just seal it, right? The power should do it, but just for the icing on the cake, put a little contact versus righties there. Boom, Big Z going gold, and still so investable. I'm probably gonna add another 15, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised nobody else is talking about him. I think it's there. Speaking of, I think it's there. Even though I've been on this guy all year, this is only the second time we've predicted gold, and I think it's finally coming for Tyler Mahle. All the other times, I had him going to 78 when they put him 78. I had him going 79 when they put him 79. Now, last update, I did say 80, and he didn't get there, but I think he's got it this time. This one, I would be floored if he doesn't get it, and I'd really be questioning, like, what am I missing here? Because he has 1 walk in 2 starts this period. He has a 1.1 BB9 in August, 2.5 for the second half. Those are all better than what a 59 would get you. So I think he gets enough, even if it's just the BB9 getting upgraded. I think it's enough to go gold for Tyler Mahle, and those of us who've been in on him all year will finally rejoice. Got 150 just waiting to be sold. What is this undercutting here with? You know what? I'm going to buy these. I'm going to buy these on principle here, just because people undercutting that split, like, that's so silly. Don't do that. I'm going to take those cheap ones and punish you, you dummy. Anyway, moving on. out to the Marlins. This is a return to gold for Sandy Alcantara. Now, I got to be honest, and I talked about this when it happened. When he went gold with his partners, Pablo Lopez and Trevor Rogers, I thought SDS was being a little cutesy and kind of bringing Alcantara along. What I used yesterday was the phrase drafting. If you're a NASCAR fan, you know exactly what that means. I only know it because I played the video game. I've never really watched. I'm not trying to like distance myself from NASCAR. It makes it sound like I'm nervous to say I like NASCAR. I never watched it, but I really enjoyed the video game, and so I learned about drafting and enjoyed playing that game, mostly back in college with my buddies. But it was a fun game, so I know what drafting is. And basically, it's being behind another car, and their speed is kind of pulling you along, so that you don't have to put as much effort. Basically, I think Sandy Alcantara drafted off of Lopez and Rogers to get to gold last time. This time, though, he earns it, okay? 10.2 K, 2.1 walk, 5.3 hits. Since that Coors disaster, 10 hits, 10 earned runs. I think that they can, this is again where the art comes in over the science. I don't want to say that they ignore that, because they have to acknowledge what's happening on the field. But I think they can not hit him quite as hard for it, because it's an isolated event in a park that is not his own, that, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us out there in Coors. I say best of us like I'm a major league pitcher. You know, when I go out to Coors, sometimes I give up 5 or 6 runs, and then I bounce back for a shutout in my home park. No, but I think he's bounced back from it. He's shown that it's very much an outlier, and I don't think it'll hold him from getting gold. If he only goes 79 this week, he's absolutely a hold for gold. And you can see there's still room to invest here with Sandy Alcantara. Next up, this is one of my big calls of the week. Now, when I say that, I don't put that out to give myself a cover or to soft pedal the belief of what I'm saying. I'm only pointing it out because it's a big call, and I'm just acknowledging that I know it's a big call to say Josh Rojas is going to get +4 to 80. I guess part of it is saying maybe that if we're grading these, right? Zunino, I think, is like, I kind of give him like a 90% chance to go. Molly, I'm at 100%. Alcantara, I think he should be 100% personally. When I say 100%, that's my confidence, though. That's not so much what SDS is going to do, because I don't know what they're going to do. Rojas would probably have to be closer to like a 75%, which is still a pretty high confidence rate, but I would understand if they kind of didn't do exactly what I was thinking that they should or could do. Because I think they should take a more holistic approach and kind of look at what he's been doing even more than just beyond this period, which they have done. We call them catch-ups. When they kind of go back and say, okay, we kind of missed this guy a few periods ago. We're going to take what he did a couple periods ago with this period, give him a bigger update. I think Rojas is a great catch-up candidate. This is what he's doing against righties since the All-Star break. 513, 587, 821 in 46 plate appearances. He also has a 20% K rate, 16% walk rate against righties and lefties in that time. 513 was the batting average against righties. He's hitting over 500 against righties since the All-Star break, y'all. That is bananas. Like, that is truly insane for Josh Rojas. He's been great. He was playing his ass off before he got hurt. That kind of derailed him a little bit. I will also point out that he's hitting he's hitting lefties pretty well this period. 333 average, 412 OBP, just a 400 slug though, not much power, but the batting average is good too. So he might not get an upgrade of anything major against lefties, but he could get a little love in the contact. At the very least though, he's not going to lose anything. So even though he's been a bit of a platoon bat at times this year, this period he has not. So I think that there's enough here, especially when you look at kind of the composite for Josh Rojas, to get him to gold this week. Now, even if he doesn't do it, you know I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be sticking right with him. But I think it's there. I think he's hitting 292 for the year against righties. I think that could be in the mid 70s. The power, I think, could be in the high 50s, low 60s. And then the contact against lefties could be like 65. The power versus lefties, he actually has more power. He has a 180 for the year, 183 ISO against lefties, 174 against righties. So I think that could be up in the high 50s. So all that love there might not be worth 4 points yet, but I think there's a chance. And again, when you factor in what he's been doing since the All-Star break against righties, that could gas the update even more. Like to where, like I said, he's hitting, well, it's actually down now. When I did the numbers, it was 513. he's had a few hitless at bats. He's down to a 458. What a loser! But this is against righties since the All-Star break. 458, 527, 750. It's still amazing, and I still think it could generate a big contact boost against righties. And the bottom line is, I think at the very least he's going 79. Famous last words, by the way. They're gonna go 78, and I'm gonna look stupid. But no, I really think it's there. I think there's the upside for this. Bottom line is, plenty of room to invest. I'm not going anywhere, even if he doesn't get it. It's not like I think he's a flash in the pan. He's been good all year. Josh Rojas, hold for gold, regardless of whether or not he goes this week. Hey, there, I didn't back out accidentally at all last night, and then I get on the re-record and I end up doing it. All right, this one's easy because I think the market is already there with this guy. And it's Dansby Swanson. Oh my God, the market's through the roof. I'm going to sell some of these right now. I'll give you some numbers of what he's been doing. Like I said, the market's there. He hasn't been great against lefties this period with a 583 OPS and 19 plate appearances, but he's decimating righties with a 1363 and 46 plate appearances, and that should be enough for gold. So I think he's going to get there regardless. But you should be selling right now in these 1300 range, because why not? Like, then you're taking more profit than you're probably going to get when he goes gold, because the price will probably go even lower once he hits gold. So you might as well get in now and take your profit and run, because then you don't have to wait for Friday. Because what if they nuke him? What if they freaking nuke him? Now, I don't think they will, but what if? Anyway, that's Dansby Swanson. Let's talk about another guy here. Now, I had him going to an 83 yesterday, and he's hit 2 homers today. You know who this is. I already mentioned him. Paul Goldschmidt. Now, all of a sudden, I'm wondering if he goes diamond this week, because here's how I feel this goes. Now, one thing I will say, I see plus 15s here, and that tells me that getting 5 points this week is going to be tough for Goldschmidt. But let's analyze this a little bit more, since the context has changed. So I always operate as though the roster update closes on Tuesday night, and generally it does. But what I believe to be the case is that big Wednesday afternoon performances can be put in. Like if somebody does something really standout. I'm not talking about like a 3-for-4 day with 2 singles and a double. I don't think they really need to get that in. I'm talking like a 2-homer day or 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. I'm talking stuff like that, needle moving moments like that. 2 homers on Thursday or on Wednesday morning is enough to get in there, and I really think that that's what we could see with Goldschmidt here. All of a sudden, getting Wednesday's numbers to count. Now, he has a 438, 471, 1,000 against lefties this period with 2 homers. 389, 465, 583 with a homer against righties. So the versus lefty numbers are going to go up. Are they going to go up plus 15s? I don't know, but because it's only 17 plate appearances this period. Like that's still a very small sample, especially at this point in the year when we're almost 5 months through. 17 plate appearances is kind of a drop. And now it's been an amazing 17 plate appearances, but is it enough to move the needle that much? I don't know. But let's look at Goldie since the All-Star break. He has an 1140 OPS with 3 homers against lefties in 34 plate appearances, and an 888 OPS with 5 homers against righties. So here's the thing. I'm going to amend my prediction up to an 84. I don't quite think he's going to go diamond just yet this period, even with the 2 homers today, but I do think you should get in now because it's a free roll. He's basically at base price, so get him up to an 84, and then he starts going into the 2,000-3,000 range. Then you can sell then and take the profit, even if you don't want to wait for diamond. But we've seen Goldie be a diamond before. We know he's got diamond capability. Now's the time to get in, regardless of what happens this week with Goldie. Easy peasy. By the way, the numbers that I had, I had his numbers since June 1st in my notes. Let's do that. Let's add the 2 homers today and add that, because here's what I had. Since June 1st, he was hitting 317, 383, 525 with 13 homers in 69 very nice games. But now it's up to 316, so the batting average is actually lower. but the OBP is, well, that's lower too. Okay, so you know what? These two games. Oh wait, do I have today select? I do. Oh, anyway. It looks like it's just the 2 homers. I think he went 0 for yesterday. So the triple slash is pretty much the same, but now it's 15 homers. So adding in today's game from the June 1st period doesn't change it that much. Whatever. Bottom line is he's destined for diamond, folks. All right, this guy put himself on the diamond radar, and it wasn't too long ago that we might have been talking bronze for Brandon Lau. Remember when he lost gold? He goes into the silver, and it's like, the season he's having, he might have to go way down. But since June, he's been one of the best players in the league. He has the 5th best WRC plus, which is weighted runs created plus. I mentioned it a lot, but if you aren't familiar with what it is, it's a single number that kind of puts everything into context with your offensive production and puts it on a scale where 100 is average, and every point that you are over 100, that means you're that percentage better than league average, and the same vice versa for lower. So since June 1st, Brandon Lau has a 163 WRC plus. He's been 63% better than league average. That is 5th in the league. He has 3.1 WAR. That is tied for the 4th highest in the league. He also has, he's one of 7 guys with at least 20 homers since June 1st. He's been completely out of his mind. I think he gets a 3-point boost up to an 83, and all of a sudden, he's on the diamond radar. So it's a free roll. You can get in. If it doesn't go, no sweat off your back, just a few stubs to invest now. But if you have the bankroll that you can afford to wait, because I do think it would take until September, sometime in September, the next update or even the update after that to get him to diamond, it's at least a possibility now for Brandon Lau. Same with this guy that I never would have thought he was going to be on the diamond potential train. But here we are with CJ Cron. Now, I will say he did just take advantage of a homestand, but he's been out of his mind. He has a 979 OPS against righties, 1563 against lefties this period. His month has been off the charts. In fact, he has the best batting average and OPS in the league this month. So he's got a good chance to be even the lightning card for CJ Cron because he's just been bonkers. But what happens when Coors guys go on the road? They tend to smooth out. So I don't really think he's going to go diamond at any point unless he hits another homestand where he just goes off and it perfectly matches up with the roster update. But I do think he's going to get 2 points up to an 83 and be knocking on diamond's door, which is crazy because I never thought that would happen for CJ Cron. This next guy I have to mention just because people are probably wondering, he went on the IL today. It's very unfortunate. Jack Flaherty. If he had an amazing outing yesterday, I'm talking like I said, 7 shutout innings, 10 strikeout type of deal against the Tigers, he maybe could have gone this week to diamond. Either way, I was looking at him going up to an 84 and kind of, because it's only been 3 starts since his IL return, including yesterday's start. And yesterday went very poorly because now he might not even get the 1-point update. Like that might have ruined everything, unfortunately. But I still think that you can look at him as somebody, with the shoulder, with it being a shoulder tightness issue. Let me actually see what the diagnosis is. He might not be on the IL that long. Now, do you want to hold right shoulder strain? The thing of it is they're not very good. I'm selling. I'm selling out, y'all. I bought most of these at base price anyway. I'll take a little bit of a loss. I don't have that many left. I have 13 left. I'll keep 1 to have in my inventory, but I'm going to sell the other 12. I just think it's tough. I just think that it's going to be too tough to get him there. He's going to have to, depending on how much time he misses, he's going to have to get back, maybe re-ramp up. It's too much now. It's super bummer that he got hurt. But they just don't have a lot of incentive to keep him in and keep going for it. So I think he's going to be on the outside looking in. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. Let's talk catcher and Mr. Will Smith. Now, here's the thing. He's also knocking on Diamond's door, but I think he could get nooched. I do have him for an 84. I will say that. I do have him +1. Because he is killing righties again. 3 homers and a 357 ISO. But he's only hitting 214 against righties. So the average, the contact could come down while the power goes up. And then he only has 4 plate appearances against lefties because he's not even playing a bunch of lefties. So he hasn't even been given an opportunity to improve those numbers there. So, if he gets the +1, yes, he's technically knocking on Diamond's door. But until he turns that split, I just don't know that it's going to be there, folks. I think we have to be careful with Will Smith. I would say don't overinvest. I mean, it's a free roll right now, so you can do it if you want. But I would say don't get crazy with it. I would say be moderate with what you do, because I don't really see Diamond anytime soon, and I just backed out like a dumbass. Anyway, we're in the home stretch here. Let's go back to first base. Talk about that second red that I mentioned to you earlier, as somebody who has a heavy platoon but could overcome it. And that's Joseph Votto. You see here, I'm confused. +13s gets it. This has happened all year, so I'm just kind of memeing on it because I know exactly what's going on. But we've seen this before where the inside edge from like a previous day is still stuck on the card, but then, or one of these two is stuck from the previous day. Maybe yesterday he was down and then today he's up, but either way, it's not fully showing. What's it say over here? Oh, yeah, because he faced Burns yesterday, so he was down. So the +13s is correct, but it hasn't registered on his overall. Don't ask me why with that. I have no idea why it does that, but it does. Anyway, he has just stayed electric. An 1122 OPS and 4 homers against righties. He's been decent against lefties, but it's only been 12 plate appearances. 1167 OPS, 1 homer. I think he goes to 84 for sure. But he's right there on the door for Diamond. Now, unlike Winker, the reason where he's different, Naquin was different because of the glove. Where Votto's different is that first base doesn't ask as much of defense as the outfield does. So the fact that he's a common defender doesn't hurt him as much. He can get to Diamond even being a platoon guy, unlike Winker, who needed defense, at least on some level, or a better platoon against lefties to get to Diamond, and he never did. Votto can definitely get back to Diamond, even being a righty destroyer. So I've got him knocking on the door, but not quite there yet, but he is a destined for Diamond candidate, so hang on to him even after this week. The way he's been hitting this year, I would be 0% surprised if he gets back to Diamond. Let's talk Robbie Ray. And I see the prices moving up because when we talked about him yesterday, he was pretty affordable. I think he's going Diamond, and I think he's kind of a slam dunk. Like, I'm surprised that there hasn't been more chatter about him. My chat said that they have not been seeing Ray come up on a lot of lists, and I haven't really looked at anybody's updates for the week yet. I usually do that on Thursday just so that I'm not influenced by them. Watching other people's videos in the YouTube community, which, hey, I love that people... I'm not pretending like I'm the only one who has the answers here. It's awesome to watch other people give their predictions. But my chat said Ray has not been out there a whole bunch yet. I think he's a damn near lock. Like, I don't know, like, what more does he have to do? He just hasn't slowed down. In August, he has 9.3 Ks, 2.0 walks, and 6.0 hits per 9. Since June 1st, he's at 11.4, 2.3, and 6.6. He's a diamond, folks. Like, it's like I said, it's a slam dunk for me. This one isn't quite a slam dunk, but I'm going right back to it, y'all. I'm doing it. You know who I'm going to talk about here. Rake. Come on, Rake. You got this. I got Rake going up. 1229 OPS against righties. 724 against lefties, but I don't think that's going to hit him too hard because it's not a huge sample, and I just don't think that it's necessarily a level that says, oh, I have to get downgraded. I think it's like, okay, 724 for a period, you can kind of leave that. They can just say, okay, he didn't kill lefties this period, but we don't have to hammer him because he's still hitting. Oh wait, hang on, I have the wrong dates selected. Let me go to Cronenworth here, August 11th. Let's get updated too, because I did these numbers on Monday. He's hitting, well, now it's down to a 583 in 16 plate appearances, but for the season he's still hitting 286 with an 822 OPS against lefties. So again, Maybe I'm wish casting because I want him to go diamond, but I don't think they need to hammer him against lefties. So they can maybe take a little bit away, maybe move the contact down to like 77. But he's hitting 346 with an 1183 OPS and 3 homers against righties. So I think the gains against righties are going to be enough to offset any sort of loss in contact against lefties. Because they should not crush him for 16 plate appearances of a 200 average. That includes a 231 BABIP. So he's been kind of unlucky. And I also suggested that maybe his vision could go even higher. 84 is obviously very good, but he just doesn't really strike out that much. Since the All-Star break, he has a 14% strikeout rate. This month, he has an 11% mark. And he was at 7% this period when I first did the numbers. It looks like he got a few more strikeouts since then. So he's back at 11. 11% is pretty good. I'm talking like 3 or 4 points. Basically, the contact or the vision boost would be to offset the contact dip against lefties is what I'm thinking. But either way, put all that aside. Put the drop against lefties, put the vision aside. I think the gains against righties should be enough on their own to get Cronenworth to diamond. I'm entering the Crone zone yet again. All right, Shohei. Remember when he kept getting all those offensive upgrades and people wondered why he wasn't diamond? It's because pitching or hitting does nothing for a pitcher. Look at these. I mean, he's a diamond hitter basically, and you would think he should be like a 99, but it doesn't impact it. So he can only go up based off of his pitching. Well, he finally started pitching well enough to get to diamond, and he's there. Now I think he could go even higher because that BB9 is starting to really improve. He has 4 walks over his last 6 starts, and that includes 3 in one game. He has a point that's good for a .9 BB per 9 in that time period. So I think he should get a nice healthy boost there, go up to an 87 or 88. If he keeps pitching like that the rest of the year, we could see Shohei go up over 90. And I know, last year when live series cards went over 90, we really kind of wanted to invest in them because usually their price would go up. But we're not seeing that as much this year. So I include these guys just to kind of let you know. But I'd be careful investing too much in them. Like take a look at Vlad. Like he finally has started to go up, but it took to getting to a 94 for it to really start happening. Like he just hasn't really been that high despite being, one of the best live series cards in the game. Muncie's been over 90 for a while and it's up over base price, but it's not that much. I mean, he's not priced that differently than Olsen, who people have been waiting for to go over 90 as well. That said, I've got 2 guys who are going to go to 90 this week, in my opinion. First one is Jose Ramirez. He's just straight killing it right now. His power since the All-Star break has been off the charts. 435 ISO and 6 homers against lefties since the All-Star break. 304 ISO and 4 homers against righties. So big power boosts. It's going to make the card more playable. Should get him up over 90. It might upgrade his price. Either way, you can free roll it if you want, but this is more of a big budget. Like I have 53,000, we'll round up. I'm not investing in Jose Ramirez on the hopes that he goes up to like 6,700 and I can make a few stubs. That's for you big ballers out there. If you want to do that, you've got hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of stubs, and you're looking for something to invest in. You can buy 10 Ramirez's, hope he goes up to like 91, and then all of a sudden his price is around Machado's or something. That's basically what you're looking for here. But even that, is the payoff even worth it? Maybe not. And then the last guy, the God. Where is he? You know what? I should have just done this. I forgot I had backed out. Yeah, there's Juan Soto. I think he's going to 90 at the very least, maybe even higher. He's just so absurd. He has a 714 OBP against righties this period. Did you hear what I said? 714 OBP. He's getting on base 71% of the time this period against righties. 600 OBP since the All-Star break. 60% of the time. That's disgusting. By the way, 462 against lefties this period. So he's not slouching against lefties. Now, discipline should obviously be all the way up to 125 at this point, but you can put the contact up against righties. You can put the power up against righties. I don't think he's going to get much against lefties. He is hitting 278 this period, so you can give a little contact. The power is going to stay as is, but he's a god. Like, he's unbelievable. He's just so good. So anyway, that's it. That's the update for the week. I've got
Mitch White and Alex Vesia going from common to bronze. I've got Emmanuel Clase, Brad Boxberger, Logan Webb, Dalton Varsho, Tristan McKenzie, and Ty France going bronze to silver. I've got Mike Zunino, Tyler Mahle, Sandy Alcantara, Josh Rojas, Dansby Swanson going silver to gold. I've got Robbie Ray, Jake Cronenworth going gold to diamond. Now don't forget, this is an abbreviated version of my full list. My entire list this week has 78 names, including 10 golds, and I gave you guys how many of them? 6? I gave you guys an even 5, so the other 5 are on the list there. And I have 5 new diamonds, so there's 3 others. The way to get that full list is to subscribe to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Spore. Jump in the Discord. Make sure your Discord and your Twitch are linked. It sounds like a lot. By the way, it's not that hard. Once you subscribe, you get in the Discord. We'll get you set up right away. You get the full list. You get my Hold for Gold sheet, which takes all the pertinent silvers, and I say pertinent because it's not literally every silver, but it's like, I think it's over 100 silvers, and I give them a 1 to 10 rating on how likely they are to go gold over the next 2 updates. And that list has 121 silvers on it, and they just have a 1 to 10. For example, Mahle's a 10, right? Because I think in one of the next, I think he's going to get it this update, but in one of the next 2 updates, I think he's going to go gold. Let's see. For example, like Andrew Kittredge is an 8. That's pretty good. He could be somebody you could invest in. Somebody that I'm not as high on, Franmil Reyes is a 7. Like, it could happen, but do I really see it? No, not necessarily. And I specifically mentioned him because I know I've talked about how I'm out on predicting him for gold. We did it for so long a couple years ago, and every time it looked like he had a chance to get there, something happened and he just won it, and it was so frustrating. But anyway, that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry this is coming out a little bit later on Wednesday because I had to re-record it completely, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.